this for future prosperity. So thank you all for investing your time with us today. Welcome to What the Flock. So today we're going to talk about getting your teams to fly together. So we've got with us Sarah and Veronica, who's our IT specialist, making sure we run on track and keep things going. So, if you don't know me, Joe Siecinski, co-founder of brainSHARE Coach with the awesome Elisa. You can check out my LinkedIn and get all the information on that you want whenever you want. And Elisa.
All right, so my name is Elisa Yu, and engineer by training. I started my business, grew it, and sold it with a pretty good exit. So now I'm helping other business owners to grow their business. So that's it about me. Yes, I do have LinkedIn profile. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and actually quite a few of you we are already connected. So that's all good.
And as we go through this, we're going to do a little bit about getting our brains together because it is brainSHARE. So we're going to have a little fun and get things going. And what I'd like you to do is look at the following. Now, this is interactive. So if you haven't been to one of our events before, we'd like it to be interactive. So if you can take yourselves off mute and look at the following and call out the word. Are you guys ready? Thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, go.
Red,
blue, gray,
brown, pink,
black, green, purple, yellow, red,
orange,
green, orange.
Did anybody have a problem with that? Pretty simple, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what I want you to do is look at the following and call out the color, not the word, okay? The color, not the word. Are you ready? Go.
yellow, green,
brown,
blue,
black, brown, pink,
orange,
Okay, time out. Okay, the color, not the word. Are you guys ready? One more time. 1, 2, 3, go.
yellow,
green,
red,
black,
blue,
red,
brown,
orange.
black,
blue,
orange,
gray,
green,
purple,
blue,
gray,
red,
purple.
Did anyone have a little harder time with that?
Yes.
Why is that?
You're playing with
all
our
messed up.
brains, Joe.
We're actually playing with your brain, left brain, right brain. Left brain is logic, math, words. Right brain is creativity and color. And we're switching back and forth, and it's hard. This also happens in your business and your life when you're switching between modalities. And that's what we wrote the book about, brainSHARE. Yes, I'm plugging our book. So, and right now, the reason we want to do that is it creates a little confusion and gets us learning, and we learn best when there's a little confusion. Elisa.
All right. And have you always had something that you want to change? Maybe the way you deal with your employees, maybe the way you handle your invoices, anything. And I'm an engineer, so I love formula. And here's a formula for you. D times V times F has to be greater than R. What does that mean? Let me decode it for you. D stands for dissatisfaction. V stands for vision. F stands for the first step, and R is resistance. Of course, it's resistance to change. So if you if you are not overcoming your resistance to change, you got to look at the dissatisfaction. Are you dissatisfied enough? Your vision. Do you have a clear vision of how it should be? Or F, the first step. Are you willing, or do you know what the first step is? Because we all know when anything multiplied by 0 equals to
0.
Yes. So if you are resistant to change, look at all these 3 factors and see which one do you need to bump up in order to get that change going. All right, next.
How many of you ever wished you could change your actions, behavior, or decisions? In the past? Yay! Well, our actions, behavior, and decisions are actually results. That's the tip of the iceberg. That's what we see. Below the waterline is our skills, beliefs, values, identity, and environment. So if we want to change our actions, behavior, and decisions moving forward, we've got to look at our skills, beliefs, values, identity, and environment. Now, of those, which is the easiest to change?
Skills.
That's right. And that's what we're here today, is to give us some new skills. And as our skills change, our beliefs, values, identity, and maybe even environment will start changing. Kind of cool, huh? Okay. When we say or think this, what happens?
Our brain shuts down.
That's right. When you say, everybody say, I know that. If you got teenagers, you hear this a lot. I know. So, and then there's actually a chemical reaction in your brain, your subconscious mind, that when you say or think, I know, everything starts bouncing off and you can no longer learn. If you see people in a networking environment, when you're talking to somebody and someone say, oh, I know, immediate rapport breaks. So instead of saying or thinking, I know, we're going to try this. You guys ready? Isn't that
Interesting.
You can almost feel your brain change from I know to isn't that
Interesting.
Interesting.
kind of cool? So,
Yep. All right. So who have heard of the saying, hey, you got to stay above the line? Who have heard of it before? Some of us, right? So what does above the line behavior means? That means you take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for everything that all occurs to you and the company. So you'll have an oar in your hand and you're chartering to your own destination. Now, below the line behavior, we're talking about blame. It's Jimmy's fault, right? Excuses. My dog ate my homework. Or denial. Denial actually stands for don't even know I am lying to myself. So if you are staying below the line, you might as well stay in bed. So whenever we have a behavior that is above the line behavior, we are committed to learning and we're open to suggestion and we feel powerful. We feel like the future is in our hand. However, whenever we go below the line, this is when we are committed to being right. We have to be that person being right and we're close to any suggestion. And at the same time, we feel powerless. So business owners, it is actually your decision. So stay above the line at all times. Next.
So anyone have any idea of what the number one reason for business failure is?
Not enough sales.
Other ideas?
Lack of commitment.
Lack of commitment, cash flow. I heard lots of things. How about
Lack
this
of
one?
innovation.
Lack of innovation.
Lack of
That's a good
innovation.
one.
How about this one? Burnout. You get so tired of running so hard for so long, for so fast, and feel like you're not going anywhere. Then you just say it's not worth it. I quit. I'm going to go get a job, whatever it is.
Grass is always greener.
Yep. So this is one of the reason brainSHARE and brainSHARE coaches here is to help prevent burnout. So now we're going to talk about building your house, because building a
Yes.
house is like building a business.
Building a business is like building a house. So whenever you're building a business, you have to follow a certain framework, and all successful businesses follow a successful framework. And how does this framework work? It starts with a foundation. You have to have a solid foundation, and in our framework, it has 4 cornerstones. They are how you use your time, what is your ultimate goal, standards, and finance. Let's go through them one by one because it's important. Time is how you use your time, and whether you're efficient and your focus is it's an ultimate foundation for your success. So we actually have a tool that's called Small Business Calendaring System that would help you gain efficiency and help you focus on what you need to do. And next is ultimate goal.
I'm gonna jump in. Time is every one of our most valuable asset.
Yep.
So how you use your time, to me, this is one of the most important things to focus on as you're building your business. Sorry, Elisa, I had to jump in there.
That's okay. And that is true. So ultimate goal is what Stephen Covey said. in his book, 7 Habits of the Most Successful People, begin with the end in mind. Where do you want this business to go? What is that ultimate goal you want to achieve? You could change it at some point, but without knowing it, you might as well just get there. Right? So know what your ultimate goals is for the business, and also standards. This is where you set the standard for your service and your products so that your customers have consistent experience. It's not like I have a hairdresser before. I go there one time and they got a really good haircut and everybody compliments it. The next time I go back, it was horrible, and I wonder what happened, and my friends wonder what happened to my hair. So consistent experience is what you want to give your clients, right? And that's where standards comes in. Finance, we all know that that's about money. It's all the money in and out about money. This is where you learn how to not only how to earn more, but to keep more. So with that solid foundation, we can build our business. And the very first thing we need to focus on is market positioning. This is where we have to articulate what is special about you, what is special about us, what is our unique selling proposition, who are our target audience, and what are our guarantee and warranties that we can give that would let us stand out from our competitors. And also, this is where we put in the marketing plan, the strategic marketing plan. My tongue is twisted, but this is where you actually know what are some strategies you could use: strategic marketing plan and tactical marketing plan. What do you do from week to week, from day to day, to focus on marketing? Once you have marketing locked down, or a strategy locked down, you automate it, so then you can actually stabilize your business and grow. And once your business start to grow, this is where you need to focus on systems. Whenever we talk about system, there's soft system and hard system. The hard systems are the accounting system, is the inventory system and all that. But then the soft system is, how do you treat your employee? How do you get engagement? These are all the soft systems that you need to put in place as well. With the system in place, now you need to hire your team. And don't get me wrong, this is not hiring a first employee, but hiring the core team members who can be your right-hand person, who can be the right-hand people that would share the burden with you, so you can grow beyond yourself. Now, with systems and team all working together, your business will work like a well-oiled machine. Now you can detach from the day-to-day operations and focus on strategic issues like your exit plan, like the expansion plan. However you want, wherever you want to take your businesses, at that point of the game, you need to be very strategic, and you need to have time for that. And that's that's how you build out the whole house and have the house working for you.
And this is what BrainShare Coach walks you through every step in that process based on where you are today. And today we're going to focus a little bit on the team, because is your team like this? Everything flying all over the place. What the flack? But we want this. How many of you are kind of there, or have been in an organization that was kind of like chaos? One of my old bosses used to have a slide that looked like that flock of birds that says "lead, follow, or get out of the way," and it's knowing where you need to be.
Or your organization looks like this. You have a bunch of adult babies who are playing with their own toys and going their own ways, where you really should have a cohesive team with adults having a conversation and growing the company together cohesively. So this is when I was asked a question when I was growing my company, is what would happen to your company when you get hit by a truck? What would happen to the company? You've had a whole bunch of adult babies. Guess what? They need babysitting. And without you, there is no company.
Or you win the lottery. I like that analogy better. You win the lottery and you take off.
Yes.
Okay, so as we start going through this, so if you have not had DISC-VAC training, this is personality profile training and communication training. It's the first step, because a lot of organizational structure, it's all about communication. So if you pull out your phone and you go to that QR code or alien symbol, I like calling it alien. It looks like an alien symbol to me. Alien symbol, you'll have access to that training. Because true communication is the response you get. So if someone's,
Can I ask a quick question?
yeah, please.
What do I need to read that QR code?
I think if you, Sarah, you help me out, or Elisa, if you
You
put your
just point your camera.
Okay.
over that. What is it? If you point your camera over the QR code, it will lead you to a website. It would actually lead you to a YouTube
But
video.
YouTube, yeah, exactly.
Yep, it's a YouTube video.
Yep.
If you're having issues, Charlene, with it, I can send it to you to the chat. And that way you'll be able to.
No, I think I got it.
Okay, good.
I got it. Thank you. Thanks.
So communication is a must. If people aren't responding the way you want, whose responsibility is it to change, to adjust? It's ours as communicators. If my kid's not responding the way I want him to, I need to change the way I'm communicating with him. I've had to do that many times over the years. So communication, true communication, is the response you get. Now, as we start looking at communication, we've got living styles. So how many of you know people that have low self-respect and low respect for others? That's a lose-lose, and they're manipulative and aggressive. Get away from them. Or people that have high self-respect and low respect for others, hostile and aggressive. Not too good for the team. How about low self-respect, high respect for others, very passive? These are also energy suckers. Get away from them. We should be win-win, high self-respect, high respect for others, and it's assertive and moving forward. These are the things you should interview for as you're going through the interview process. Another way of looking at it is like this. I'm not okay, you're not okay, that's not okay. Or I'm okay, you're not okay, that's not okay. Or I'm not okay, you're okay, that's not okay. I'm okay, you're okay, that's the way. And I just like saying that. That's why I put that slide in.
It's just a whole bunch of okays.
And that's okay. So we're going to start getting to the good stuff now. The keys to a winning team.
All right. The number one thing is to have strong leadership after everybody is okay. Now, in order to be a strong leader, you have to be very passionate. Next one. You gotta be very passionate about what you do, and also take responsibility for everything that happens to you and the team. Basically, buck stops here. That's a mentality you need to have as a leader. Now, going a little bit on the men's mindset side, you want to make sure you have good people. You cannot be a solo leader leading a company and expect the company to grow beyond yourself. So putting the right people on the right bus in the right seat is essential for you, for the success of the company. So then everyone knows what they're supposed to do on this journey and get to the right destination together. So next, how do we get there? By having an org chart and organization chart. Basically, org chart is a simple way to compartmentalize your company operations. So in this very simple one, you have a marketing function, you have production function, you have finance function, and you have a head in each one of those functions, right? In other people, you may have bigger org chart, more elaborate org chart, but whatever it is, draw out your org chart. It doesn't have to be complicated, but you need to know how to compartmentalize it. And also, in the beginning, your name is probably in all those C-level thing, right? You're the CEO, you're the COO, you're the CMO, you're the CFO. But as the company grows, this org chart will be your guide to see how you're going to expand, how you're going to promote, who you're going to hire to fit one of those boxes in the C level. And also, I actually have a video that talked about the org chart and how to make it work. But have an org chart early on so you know how to grow your company properly. We'll come back to this in more detail when we get to the technical level.
Yeah, even if you're a solopreneur, you should have an org chart.
Yep. And so there's a cycle of business. A lot of people, a lot of business owner thinks that I need to be responsible for everything under the sun within this company. Where that focus come in is your main focus. You're mainly responsible for your team. You make your team happy, you make them, you equip them, you empower them, and your team is going to make your customer happy. With good customer, satisfied customer, they are going to take care of the business, and in turn, the business will take care of you. So as you grow your company, put ultra focus on building your team.
And if you're a solopreneur or a small business, you might have to be playing the role of the team. And that's okay. Make sure you're switching your hats.
Yep. And Joe, this is you.
So you got the strong leadership. Now we start going, okay, what is the vision of the company? What does it look like? The purpose of the vision of the company is to enroll and inspire the organization, to move everyone forward. So it's the vision of where we want to go. The mission is how to get there. So what's our vision for the company? Here's our mission. Here's how we're doing it, and here's how we're going to get there. And also your culture statement, which is what's important to the company. So after you've got your vision, your mission, your culture, then we must set goals. Goals provide direction and focus. And for those of you that you don't know, FOCUS is an acronym for Follow One Course Until Success. If you haven't seen that one before, direction and focus. It creates movement and momentum. So this is where we're going. This is our goals. And it's the person that you start becoming. So who I need to be to do what I need to do to have what I want to have. Back to Stephen Covey that we talked about earlier on. And then we move into
processes and standards. These are more on the technical level, but it's still important for building a winning team. So let's look at where we were with the org chart, right? Review the org chart, and what you need to do is in every single one of those boxes, write a position description. Basically, if somebody is in that box, take that position. What is that person going to do? That's a position description. Now, we all know that as entrepreneurs, as I mentioned before, you may be in all those boxes in the beginning. And when you hire someone, that person may be straddling in between 2 to 3 boxes as well. It's okay. That's part of the growth. And what are you supposed to do? You need to write a job description for that person who's straddled between boxes. And yes, that includes you, right? So what does the job description encompass? Basically, it is a combination of position descriptions. And the most important thing is allocate the time that you need to spend in each position so you don't overlook an important function of your company and impede the growth of your company. So with that, you have the job description of a person. Now you need to say, okay, how do I know whether the person is successful? This is where measurement comes in. We call it KPI, key performance indicator. The key performance indicator has to, you basically need to pick 2 or 3 key performance KPIs in every single one of those boxes on your org chart. And these KPI needs to tie directly to the position description. And also the position description has to agree with their company's vision and mission, like we mentioned above, right? So now the whole team is moving in the same direction. They know who does what, and they know what the expectations are. So having this whole KPI set up, having the position, the org chart, the vision, mission, the KPI, and the position description and job description set up, this gives you the technical train of how to manage a good team. And Joe, I think you wanted to add something.
Oh, so in your org chart, you can have your same name in multiple boxes, but you can't have multiple names in the same box. You can't have two people responsible for the same thing. As you're going down this path, it's very, very critical to ensure that you've got one person responsible. If two people are responsible, no one is. So org chart, roles and responsibilities, KPIs are the critical. Also, yes. We have a book on this, how to write a position description. And we will be sending that to everyone at the end of this. Is that right, Sarah? Yay!
And just one last thing on this is when you have the position description and the KPI, you want to make sure that you are included in the game. I actually have a client who tell me that I can break the rule because I am the owner. No, you're not exempt from this. If you want to run a successful team, your description needs to be in there as well.
You should start with the CEO or the president. That's where you start with the position description. That's usually strategic direction, growth and profitability, and organizational structure are the three keys for the leader of a company. There's also a book called Walk the Talk. And if you're not walking the talk, your team's not going to do what they're supposed to either. You lead from the top, and if you're not doing it, they're not going to do it. It is that simple. So now, as you start doing this, and you start, when you put your KPIs in place, and you start raising that bar, well, some people are going to step up, and some people are going to fall off. That's okay. It's normal. Okay, as you start raising that bar, your A and B players are going to become A+, A++ players. Your C's and D's are either going to step up to be B players, or they're going to fall off. A lot of managers I've seen over the years spend a lot of their time with the C and D players trying to get them up to be B players. My strong suggestion: spend 80% of your time with your A-B players, make them A++ players, and your C's and D's will either step up or they'll step out. Either one is okay. As a manager, our job is to contribute to the organization. Make sense?
Yep. Fire fast.
Hire slow, fire fast. Absolutely. So, let's see, standards and processes, action plans. Now we've got our goal set and who does what by when. So if you haven't attended one of our 90-day planning session, Elisa does a fantastic job there. Elisa, you want to elaborate?
Sure. Every quarter on the first Friday of each quarter, we have our clients, our guests, and everyone who is interested to have a quarterly planning. What it does, you are focusing on 2 or 3 things that would make your company successful and lay out a plan for the entire quarter. And then throughout the quarter, you check progresses. You have a week-by-week action plan to grow your business. So that's every Friday, every first Friday of the quarter, 4 hours from 8 to 12, rain or shine.
And then that breaks it down. So this is a quick part. How many of you have 90-day plans? 30-day plans? Let me see. How many of you don't have 90-day plans? How many are not going to raise your hand no matter what? I see you. Okay. So if you don't have your 90-day plans, get with Elisa on that event. It'll also break it down to 30-day plans, and then we go into your weekly plans, and you go into your daily plans. This is also broken out in the book BrainShare. Make sense? Okay. How many have heard of this, Kaizen? How many of you haven't? How many are not going to raise your hand no matter what? Okay, I see you out there. So this is all about constant and never-ending improvement. You're going to grow, you're going to plateau, you're going to grow, you're going to plateau. So in your business, where are you at? How are you continuing to grow? This ties back in with a lot of PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, or there's a bunch of, over the years, a bunch of different quality systems. There was QMS, there was ISO 9000, there's the Black Belt, there's all of these. They all have the same core thing, which is constant, never-ending improvement. Dr. Deming kind of founded this whole space. So look at your business and ensure that you've got a self-correcting sailboat. If it falls over, it self-corrects. Your business should be the same.
Yep, a lot of time a business growth happen not by evolution, but not by revolution, but by evolution. It's a gradual change of small things add together.
Yeah, well, I've had lots of clients say, well, what's the silver bullet? What's that big major thing that changes? For most businesses, it's not one thing that changes it 100%. It's 100 things that change it 1%. And action plans. So D times V times F, it must be greater. So take the first steps. What do we need to do? Call one of us, or right there's the link for Elisa's calendar. Schedule an appointment. Have some fun. This is Joe's calendar. This is how to get the book BrainShare. By the way, get the hard copy book. Don't get the electronic version. You'll want to take notes in it. Okay, questions. Let's go with some questions. Questions? Sarah, I know you've got some that were sent in.
Yes, so if no one else has any questions, we talked a lot about org charts. So when should a person or should I start putting my org chart together?
Today. Right now. Pull out a piece of paper and draw your org chart. Even if you're, when I started with this, I was a solopreneur, it was me, myself, and I had an org chart. Otherwise, you can't figure out what to delegate, and how to start growing the company. So put your org chart together today. If you haven't read the book, Traction by Gino Wickman, I highly recommend that book. That gives you a lot of the tactics. He gives an EOS, an entrepreneurial operating system. One of my favorite books, Traction by Gino Wickman, or give Elisa and I a call, and we'll make some book recommendations based on where you are today and where you want to go with your ultimate goal.
Yep, and also org chart can be changed. So I have a client that I worked with him for 2 weeks, and he couldn't draw a single simple org chart. And I say, what's going on? He said, well, I want it to be perfect. No, draw an org chart that is going to support you in the next year or so. And when your company grow to the next level, then adjust it. It's your org chart, but you need to have one.
Yeah, I worked for a Fortune 50 company, and org charts, as soon as you publish it, it's almost obsolete because something's going to change. So don't worry about that. It's a guiding force of where you want to go, especially for small businesses. I highly recommend kind of putting the org chart together of where you want it to be. not where you are today. It's kind of that vision of driving you forward. Make sense?
Mhm.
And then with the org chart, I can't emphasize this one. Put a position to get description together. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to draft a position description for each one of those positions. It's a draft. It's not in concrete.
Okay, and what should go on my org chart? Like I start today, but what do I put in it?
Well, you start at the top.
Positions.
Mhm.
Yeah, all the positions. So you start, and it also depends on your company and what kind of company you have. And as you start getting more sophisticated, there's other ones. But the traditional one is you've got a CEO, you've got sales and marketing, or sales. Marketing can be separate or together. You've got operations. You've got your fundamentals, which is finance, HR, legal, are the ones that those are the key functions. Am I missing anything there, Elisa?
Well, if you are developing products, you probably need a product development. And so basically, as a small business owner, because you are doing everything yourself from the beginning, the hardest part of coming up with the org chart is to deconvolute the whole mess that you're working on, because you're wearing so many different hats. You need to be able to separate them into different functions. And if you fail to do that, what would happen is you want to find your clone. You want to find another person who is like a mini me to run after you and take care of the same thing they were taking care of. But that's not how you grow a business. So spend that time to decompartmentalize your business, and that would support your growth.
Got it. Got it. Okay, and one more question. How do I define my KPIs?
Go ahead.
Okay, so it depends on the function itself. So typically, the CEO is responsible for the strategic direction of the company, growth and profitability, and organizational structure. Those are the 3 KPIs for the CEO. Sales and marketing is typically lead generation for marketing. So how many leads are we getting? The marketing plan. So lead generation. Sales is conversion rate and average dollar sale. Operations is typically a efficiency metric depending on your business. HR is the how long people stay with the company or your hiring percentage. Legal is that you stay out of jail. HR could be stay out of jail too. And then
In fact, I think that's the entire company's goal.
yes, stay out of the courtroom. And so make sure your processes, systems, and you're not doing anything that would cause that. That's your process documentation.
Yep.
So each business is unique to some extent, and their KPIs can be different, but they're also very, very similar. So if you're not sure, get on the phone with Elisa or I, and we'll walk through that for your specific situation, because every business is unique, yet every business is the same.
Yep. And also establishing the actual KPI sometimes require you to do some research or monitoring before the KPI can be set. That's, for example, you say one of the customer service customer service goal is how fast you resolve an issue. You can't set that KPI without knowing where everybody is. You can't just arbitrarily say, hey, every issue needs to be solved within 24 hours, where, you know, in a closer look, you're taking, right now, everybody is taking 3 weeks to close a case, right? So it's that establishing that groundwork before the actual number can be set.
And then it's the constant never-ending improvement.
Exactly.
And ensuring that you got the infrastructure to measure it. So that might be your first step that says, okay, well, we've got to have a system to measure how long it takes to resolve them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's an Excel spreadsheet or a tick mark.
Thank you. That would be it for me.
Any other
I have a
questions?
question.
Yes, please.
I have a question. Do you have any ideas or suggestions for how to get into the flow to write a mission statement or write out the vision? Do you have any ideas or
Yes.
books or
We
hikes?
actually have a document, a tool that would guide our clients to write a mission and vision statement and culture. So vision, mission, and culture statement. So yeah, be more than happy to talk to you about that.
Okay, great. We'll put that on our list.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, there's a high-level video on our YouTube channel, but you really need to dive into it. So contact Elisa or I, and we'll set it up and we'll walk you through it.
Thanks.
No, our honor and privilege. We get to help people. We got the coolest job in the world.
Yep.
Any other questions?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, you've got all of our contact information. We will be sending out the white paper on how to write a position description. If you're having problems in any of those spaces, time, ultimate goal, consistency in your delivery of your product or service, finance, knowing your numbers, market positioning, systems, team, or exit strategies, give us a call. We're here to help.
Yep. And I actually see Paulina and Miriam joining. Welcome. Wanna
Thank you
unmute
so
yourself
much.
and at least say hi and what you do and introduce yourself to the group.
Shall I go
Miriam.
first?
Yeah, go first, Miriam.
Good afternoon, everyone. Actually, we are one of Joe's clients, and I wanted to, take more advantage of your workshops that you have, and it's really beneficial. These are honestly, when I listen to you, it makes it's like common sense. But then when it comes to applying that to the business, it becomes challenging. So that's how we reached out to Joe and started to have him as a coach, business coach for us, and it's really working out, and we're really happy that we got the opportunity to work with him. And it's great that I see lots of women here, which is great. It's the more powerful we are, the better word we will have. That's how I look at it. Yeah, thank you, Alyssa.
All right, yeah, thank you, Miriam. And Paulina. You're muted, Paulina.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry, I was just listening in here.
Yeah, so you want to introduce yourself to the group as well?
Oh, sure. So my name's Paulina Goff. I am a paralegal and client services director for Brain and Law Office, but I also have a lot of personal side business projects, one of which is I'm a professional pumpkin carver on the holiday season. So it's the other things are getting built up there, but this is very applicable to all lines of being in a team. So thank you for the presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Paulina, for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, so Joe, should we wrap up?
That's wrap up. We don't have any other questions. Anything come up, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put out videos regularly on how to help you build your house, which is build your business. It's just like building a house. Thank you for your time today and investing your time with us today. Elisa, anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
And have a great
you.
weekend.
Very
Have a great
informative.
weekend.
Bye.
We'll reach out to you.
All right. Bye now.